What is going on, everybody? What is going on? It is your boy Darion, and I am live, ladies and gentlemen. I am live for episode 62 of the Darion Hopkins Sports Show. I am your host, Darion of the Darion Hopkins Sports Show, and I am very, very appreciative of everyone that is here for today's show. Now, in today's show, is going to be a lot of topics here. I don't know if the panel's coming on or not. I don't care at this point. It really doesn't matter to me. I've always been doing shows on my own. It is what it is. And Mac said that he's home. And if Mac want to come up here, that's absolutely fine. But we're definitely in the building. But before we get into anything, make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the channel on the YouTube channel. We are live on my personal page, which is Sonny Hopkins on Facebook. I am live on my other fan page, which is the Darion Hopkins Sports Show on Facebook. We're live on Twitch and on YouTube as well. So with that being said, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning into this episode of the Darion Hopkins Show. Today is Monday, August 7th, ladies and gentlemen, and we have a bunch of topics for y'all today. So I'm just going to give y'all a quick rundown of the topics. We're going to talk about some NFL roster bubble, the biggest names that possibly could be cut. We're going to talk about a little bit of Kareem Hunt and visit the Saints and how that help the Saints in that 3-game suspension, knowing that Alvin Kamara is going to be out. We're going to talk about best round-for-round values in 2023 when it comes to fantasy football drafts. If a lot of people know me from back when I did the Spotlight Sports Network, I had fantasy leagues for the last couple of years. I say the last 4 to 5 years. I always had a fantasy football league. So I'm thinking about it because I did pick'ems and I did fantasy football leagues. I always did those every year for the Spotlight Sports Network, but now there's no Spotlight Sports Network, so I'm really kind of thinking, should I really do it again? I'm not too sure, but I'm interested. But hey, it is what it is. We're gonna talk about Ezekiel Elliott. Do the Jets and the Cowboys and the Patriots, they're highly interested in him. But what is the best fit for Ezekiel Elliott? We're gonna talk about 6 players who already look like they could be a free agent still in training camp. There's a lot of good free agents that with the good teams in the training camp, and there's a lot of good players that with the different teams in training camp. We're going to talk about Anthony Davis and his big contract with the richest annual extension when it comes to it. When it comes to college football, the realignment tracker, is this the end for the Pac-12? That's what it's going to be. It's going to be the end of the Pac-12. We're going to finish up the top 100 NFL players list, 30 to 21 and 20 to 11. And we're going to talk about SummerSlam recap as well. So make sure y'all check out all of that and make sure y'all check out all of that there. But we are here, y'all. We are here. So make sure. Anthony Price, what's good, my brother? Anthony Price, what's good? Just to let y'all know, make sure y'all go to SeatGeek.com for all your live events, NFL events, and we go to all the sporting events, live events that you can go to on the SeatGeek app. Make sure y'all use promo code DHopkins and get $20 off your first purchase because this show is powered by SeatGeek. So make sure y'all go support and get the promo code DHopkins and get $20 off your first purchase. And this show is powered by Bet Us. Get 125% of your sports book upon the initial deposit. The link is in the description for that. If you love betting in the sports world or just like being in the casino itself, make sure you go to betus.com. So I'm not waiting for nobody to get in here. I just wanted to get that out the way. I'm not waiting for nobody to get in here, and I'm going to go strictly into what I saw today when it comes to because when it comes to the NFL, there's a lot of NFL news out there. So we're going to get strictly to some NFL training camp and stuff of that nature. We're going to talk about that, Carlos. Carlos, we're definitely going to talk about that as well. We're definitely going to talk about that. So we're going to talk about the NFL, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we're going to talk about this one list that I saw, and that was the list of let me go to it real quick. So I do have my notes here as well. The 2023 NFL roster bubble. Now, these are roster bubbles of where you can see what players surprisingly might be cut or some other players that you probably would be surprised if they do get cut. So the biggest names who could be cut out of all of this, and it's going to be a lot of names that y'all might be interested in. So we're going to go and go right down the list here. And the first one on the list for this is Linnell Collins, the offensive tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I got to say, when it comes to him, that the right tackle, Linnell Collins, is one of the Cincinnati Bengals' prize acquisitions in 2022. He arrived in Cincinnati from the Dallas Cowboys with plenty of hype and some of his own making of that. Your new bodyguards in town, quote unquote. Joe Burrow said when they signed him last year. Now, however, I do have to say this is that Collins wasn't a great this first season as a Bengal, as I can say. But Mac is coming up on in here. What's going on, brother? What's going on, real quick, man?
What's up? What's up? What's up, man? I fucking
Nothing, nothing.
sitting
I'm
indoors,
good.
trying to hurry up, get something to drink, and get up to the computer.
Yeah, hey, I wanted to start on time today. I understand that you came at work and stuff like that, so it's all good though. But I was getting into the roster bubble cuts. It's some notable names that possibly could be cut, and one of those is Linnell Collins of the Cincinnati Bengals. They saying that Linnell Collins wasn't a great fit his first season as a Bengal, but he's responsible for 8 penalties, 5 sacks allowed, according to Pro Football Focus. And Burrow was sacked 41 times in the regular season and another 10 times during the postseason. Collins did suffer a multiple torn ligaments in his left knee late December, with Orlando Brown at the left tackle and Jonah Williams working to move to the right side. Cincinnati may choose to part ways with Collins after 1 year. So that's the first person that they have on the list for the notable cuts. They got Corey Davis for the wide receiver for the Jets on this list. They have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, running back from Kansas City. Huh?
I'm just gonna be honest, man. If they cut Collins, that's a dumbass move. Because you ain't gonna tell me there's at least 10 teams right now that would be dying to trade for him.
I get it, but that's the thing. That the problem is that he tore his ACL. He tore ligaments in his knee in December, so he's not even available right now at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I just like, you just gonna cut a guy without getting anything back for him.
I mean, you got to think about it. It's only 3 preseason games now, bro. So it's going to be some tough cuts that's going to have to come down the pipeline for these teams in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, like, I could understand cutting a shitbird second string, third string guys, but again, you're talking about if he's healthy. If he was healthy right now, you don't think multiple teams would be putting trade packages together?
It wouldn't be a notable cut if he was 100% healthy. It wouldn't be. I mean, he did struggle last season, but I don't think it would be. I don't think he will get cut. I think the injury is the reason why he's not. He's on his list. So, Corey Davis is another one, wide receiver from the Jets. He's definitely on the outside looking in. We're gonna get back to that. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Kansas City Chiefs. He might be a notable that might be cut. Jordan Lewis, the cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys. He's a possibility that might be cut. Cordell Patterson, I don't know why they got him at running back. I understand he played running back, but Cordell Patterson is a return specialist, and to me, he could play the wide receiver. And I think he came in as a wide receiver. I don't think he's a running back, but if the Falcons give him up and they cut him, I think that is stupid because he's an all-around weapon. Of course, I'm gonna be honest. Amik Robinson, the cornerback from the Las Vegas Raiders, he's definitely on the outside looking in. We did get him in like the 4th or 5th round a couple years back, so it's very interesting to see there. After Amik Robinson, it was Anthony Schwartz, the wide receiver from the Cleveland Browns, and Sterling Shepard, the wide receiver from the New York Giants. So it's Linnell Collins, Corey Davis, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Cordell Patterson, Amik Robinson, Anthony Schwartz, and Sterling Shepard, both wide receivers from the Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants. How you feel about this notable list of possible players to be cut?
Listen, if New York want to cut him and let him come here. Davis too. Like, I like Davis. Like, I mean, and I'm just saying, I'm not saying they would be top dogs for us, but man, if we were able to get Slayton and Davis with the Ravens, whoo, that's a whole lot of weapons.
My only problem with Sterling Shepard is he's so injury prone. That's my only problem with that situation. He's been injury prone ever since he came out of Oklahoma. He has not played a full season in his career.
In our offense, he would be wide receiver number 4, number 5. You know what I'm saying?
So that means he will never see the field if that's the case.
No, that means he's going to have probably 2 to 3 looks every single game and build from there. I mean, the whole thing is consistency is key. If you're not being consistent and you're consistently injured, you know what I mean? Like, hey, but my whole thing is, again, I think some guys just, it's just what's going to happen. When your body's not used to playing in the NFL, the contact, the stamp, like the physicality of the NFL.
Right.
Like, some people, they want it. They got that dog in them, but their body just will not hold up. And that's why, like, some people think it's a joke. Like, haha, man, I can run just as fast. Yeah, you can run a 4.540. You can run a 4.440. But can you do it 50 times the same speed? Can you do it 60 times the same speed? That's what the NFL is. And that's just one game. That's one game. Sometimes it's even more than that. But essentially, it's like lining up, running a 40-yard dash 50 or 60 goddamn times. And again, that's just the movement part of it, let alone the physical shit. Now let's strap a 150 to 200 pound sled on your back. Now I want you to run at the same speed.
True.
Oh shit! Yeah, now we're adding weight. Now, like that's what I'm saying. Like there's levels to the shit. There's definitely levels to it. If you don't prepare your body for it, your body's gonna break down.
So hopefully these guys do not get cut. Hopefully these guys do not. Hopefully they can find an NFL team. But there's just some notable cuts that the NFL said that they possibly could be cut in 2023. Brown offensive line. Oh, okay. I didn't watch the Hall of Fame this weekend. I didn't watch it, just to let y'all know. I did not watch it. I'm sorry. But let's get into this next topic, and I think this is going to be a very interesting topic. Kareem Hunt has got a visit to the New Orleans Saints today, due with the Alvin Kamara set for a 3-game suspension. We all knew that he was going to get suspended some way, somehow. But he is visiting the New Orleans Saints today, according to ESPN, Jeremy Fowler. The Saints are looking to bolster their backfield after Alvin Kamara received his 3-game suspension for violating the NFL personal conduct policy. And he pleaded no contest in July to a misdemeanor charge of breach of a peace stemming of from 2022 fight in Las Vegas nightclub. But in those matters, I think his name Eno Benjamin ruptured his Achilles in training camp, and which likely he will miss the whole 2023 season. So Hunt is one of the best ball carriers that's still available in the regular season, quickly approaching. For me, the Saints would make a late play for Dalvin Cook, but knowing Kamara, he will be back by week 4. That might not make sense. But if he does, Alvin Kamara come back in that week 4, do you keep Kareem Hunt? And I think you do, because
of course.
I think you do, because Eno Benjamin was a very good back last year for the Saints.
Almost averaged 1,000 yards behind Nick Chubb. So Nick Chubb got well over 1,000 yards, and Kareem Hunt almost got 1,000 yards. And this is just a couple years ago, mind you. So, bro, I think Kareem Hunt has been underrated the last few seasons. He just needs that forever home. Like, where he gonna be at the next 3 years? That's what he needs. I mean, again, he's another running back. I would love to see the Ravens go after. Again, with Ezekiel Elliott, with Hunt, and a few other guys that are still out there. Like, I don't understand why we went after Gordon. I don't. I like, bro. Like, to me, if we're talking in tires, like, my man is damn near bald.
I don't know why. I don't understand why Baltimore would go after Melvin Gordon, but they probably see something in him that we don't see. I don't know at this point, but I do feel like Kareem Hunt should be here longer than 3 weeks. I understand that Eno Benjamin was a solid back for you last year when Alvin Kamara went down with a few injuries. But in the same token, I think you can't pass on a Kareem Hunt if you're the New Orleans Saints. If you want to help out a Derek Carr, and I know Raiders fans is probably in here saying, why am I mentioning Derek Carr? Derek Carr is the New Orleans Saints quarterback. If you want to have some type of stability at the running back game, that's going to help Carr a lot, especially with these receivers that he has. Now, Kareem Hunt is going to come in and be a starter week 1 for those first 3 weeks, and you might see 400 or 500 yards within those 3 weeks when it comes to Kareem Hunt, because you just know what type of talent that he is. So him going to get a visit, I really hope that he gets signed to the Saints. I know Mac is probably thinking like, don't sign and come to Baltimore. That's probably what he's thinking.
No, Baltimore don't want him. If Baltimore wanted him, they would have signed him instead of Gordon. And I think it's just like Baltimore has a bad pickup on backup running backs. Like I don't know what it is, man. We've had quite a few bad ones. It's just like wide receivers. Like we can't draft wide receivers.
Right.
Now, hopefully Zay Flowers can break that stereotype, but until he does, I'm gonna keep saying it. We can find good wide receivers that are at the end of their careers, but as far as running backs goes, it's like, man, we've honestly only revitalized a handful of guys that's come here and had good years here. But for the most part, like I don't know. It's that John Harbaugh shit. It's that John Harbaugh shit. Where you rather pick a motherfucker's character over football talent. And I'm sorry, at the end of the day, this is football. I want talent. You can be a good guy. Awesome. Claps for you. But I want some dogs. I want motherfuckers who want to tear motherfuckers' head off on the field. I don't want no motherfucker good character, good guy. Like, that's a plus, but that's just me.
So if they do decide to go and sign Kareem Hunt, how long do you think this ain't shift sign him for? What would be the contract? Because it's been a lot of dispute with these running back contracts. So
be 2 or 3 years between 5 and 8 million.
5 and 8 million
a year.
All right, that's not bad. Especially for the productivity that he brings to a football team. Listen, absolutely.
He's not taking less than $6 million. That would be fucking foolish. With the production that he gives, it doesn't matter if he was just coming there for the first 4 weeks. 4 weeks of production, that's well over fucking $6 million.
Well, I don't see no other backup that's better than him at this point. I don't see no other backup better than him at this point on that roster if you look at the New Orleans Saints. So, and I think 6 to 8 would be good for Kareem Hunt, especially him being a backup running back and still put up starter numbers as a number 2 back. So yeah, K-Hop 16, of course. I would say that. If I was the Saints, I'll keep him for 3 games for 1 year. Absolutely not. Y'all have to understand. We are in a league of running back by committee or a 1-2 punch in the NFL. Our Kamara is not going to be able to carry the ball every single time in the NFL. Not every single time. So you need that change of pace back. It has been times where Alvin Kamara, when he had Mark Ingram, when they both had Mark Ingram, that worked. So you need that. So I think Kareem Hunt should be there longer than 3 games. I'm sorry.
Jamal.
Damn. You're absolutely right, K-Hop. Jamal Williams is there, and he led the league in rushing touchdowns last season. But he's still not better than Kareem Hunt yards-wise. Yards-wise, touchdowns, he might be better than Kareem because he led the league in rushing touchdowns. But
what team was he with?
Overall talent, it was the Detroit Lions.
Oh, that's my point. He led the league in rushing touchdowns because he was with Detroit. What does Detroit do in the red zone? They run the fucking ball. They're not having Jared Goff fucking throw the ball on the 3, 4, 5 yard line.
True.
So this ain't taking nothing away from his talent. He's still a talented guy, but I'm just telling you the reason why he got that rushing title is because what the Detroit Lions do in the red zone? They run the ball. So
I think they're gonna try to run the ball. I mean, it's nothing wrong with having Kareem Hunt, Jamal Williams, and Alvin Kamara. I think you have 3 different styles of backs. Why not keep all 3?
Well, so I'll say this: Kareem Hunt is definitely a do-it-everything back. He can receive the ball out of the backfield. He can run a fucking route in the slot if you needed to. He can block decently, and I say decently, but and then he can run it, and he's almost like a receiving scat back. But the only difference is he can still truck, he can still drive, he moves his legs well, he cuts well. Like he does everything well. That's what makes him so dangerous.
It does make and we seen that when he was with the Kansas City Chiefs. We saw it when he was with the Cleveland Browns, And I think he's going to be a great acquisition to the New Orleans Saints. That's just me. So, Kareem Hunt, I hope you get that job, brother. Let's hope you get that job. But
I mean, hey, listen. There's still a couple good teams that could be out there looking. Like, I mean, even the Vikings. That would be an intriguing situation because all the offensive power they got over there. I mean, yeah, they got some good young guys at running back, but I mean, I'm just saying, ain't nothing wrong with putting a veteran up in there.
So, yeah, Anthony Price, you got a point there, too. Let's be real. Jamal Reynolds led the league in the NFL, rushing TDs, but running 3 or 5 yards ain't nothing. Look at Zeke. I mean, that would be smart, too, to have him go. If he doesn't get to New Orleans, that would be smart for him to go to Miami. They don't have a running back for real. I mean, they have Raheem Mostert, but Raheem Mostert, Kareem Hunt, big difference there. Big difference. But for people that don't know, it's fantasy football time, and I said in the beginning of the show, I don't know for sure if I'm going to do a league because when I used to have my old network for 5 years, I used to do a fantasy football league and a fantasy pick'em league for the last 5 years. And for people that is doing fantasy, I am in Anthony Price Fantasy Football League. Nothing But Raiders podcast do have a fantasy football league. My boy Chris, shout out to Chris, he actually made the league up for us. But we have some valuable players that you should get in every single round. So round by round values of fantasy football drafts. So if you are in fantasy leagues, these are some guys that you should look at.
I hate it, man. I hate fantasy leagues. Every fantasy league I've been fucking picked on, and I've done it. I always get like the last pick or the second to the last pick. And then what makes it worse is like you'll have like 2 or 3 guys that won't show up for the draft, and so I got to sit there and wait for the computer to use all the allotted time to make the pick. And I'd be sitting there, I'd be mad as hell. I stopped playing it a few years ago.
So when it comes to fantasy and how I do my leagues now, because I used to have that issue a couple years back where people don't show up to the drafts. If you there and you allow the auto pick, as a commissioner, I can remove you and replace you So they have to let me know a week ahead of time if they're going to be at the draft, because if they're not and they're allowing auto pick, I'm snatching them up. It's just gonna be an uneven league. I'm not doing all that auto pick stuff. I hate it. And my leagues is only a minute to draft. You only have a minute to draft and make your pick. So when it comes to my leagues, that's just how I did it. If you're doing auto picks, that means you're cheating. And I hate the auto pick. So I'm not really big on that, but these are some players. RC, what's going on, brother? What's going on? So these are some picks that I have from round 1 to round 15. Of course, round 1, you're going to go with Nick Chubb. You're going to go with a running back that's been productive since he came out of Georgia. So you're going to go with round 1 with Nick Chubb. Number 2, an underrated receiver hitting himself is Armand St. Brown from the Detroit Lions. He was a lot of people didn't pick him up in the draft last year, but he was definitely on a waiver wire very often in a lot of leagues because of his production, and people underrated him last season. Round 3, they have Chris Olave from the New Orleans Saints. Round 4, they have Amari Cooper. I think Amari Cooper in round 4 is pretty too high. I think you could get him in them 6, 7, and 8 rounds. A little bit too high for me. Number 5, they have the rookie Jahmyr Gibbs from the Detroit Lions on this list as far as a valuable spot at number 5. Number 6, quarterback Justin Herbert is on here, but we all know, think about it. We all know that those Lamar Jacksons and those Patrick Mahomes probably going to be off the board before round 6, because some people just draft differently. They get their quarterbacks early.
I'm just saying, as somebody, like I've played in a bunch of different leagues. I've never seen any of the top probably 15 quarterbacks make it past the 3rd round.
And I wouldn't be surprised. I'll be very surprised if Justin Herbert even falls to round 6. In my opinion,
I mean, even in the best drafts with the best guys who are sleuths, they ain't no way. Ain't no way. I'm gonna tell you, that's the one I'm telling you, ain't no way he gonna.
Ain't no way he's making it to round 6. Absolutely not. I mean, even this is a sleep. This one in round 7 is a sleeper, and that's Calvin Ridley of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm telling y'all right now, round 7 is the right spot for Calvin Ridley, but I'm telling you, by next season, that stock is going to go up. He's with a team with stability now in the Jacksonville Jaguars with a Doug Peterson and a Trevor Lawrence. That ceiling is getting higher during this training camp. So Calvin Ridley, I think, is definitely a sneak here. Number 8 is Pat Fairmouth, the tight end from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he's an underrated draft pick at number 8 for eighth rounder. I think that is a very underrated pick. And they back-to-back tight ends. I mean, Evan Ingram.
Does it give you a number that they think he's going to average? Because to me in my head, I'm just thinking like, as number wise, he's going to probably give you about 10 points again on average. And so doing 10 points in average, like most of the 10-point guys go around the 6th, 7th round. That's why I mean, if he's there, yeah, it's absolute fucking steal. But I don't see that. That's what I'm saying.
So they saying for him is that So he says there's just 1 or 2 tight ends in each round, and no solidified grouping. Mark Andrews with 2.11, TJ Hawkinson with 4.01. I think this is the APO, but they say in others, it don't really say as much as how much he's going to average. The ADP is 8 points, almost 8.5 points. No, 8.5 points. Yeah, 8.5 points.
Okay.
For him for an 8th round draft pick. So, the other ones that I have on here is Evan Ingram. I'm not really too big on Evan Ingram. I know he's going to revive his career being back with the Jacksonville Jaguars. But he's kind of been on a downfall for me since he left the Giants. But this running back is very interesting to watch, and people sleep on him in fantasy. I don't think he's the best top 10 running back, but he definitely puts up numbers in fantasy, and that's Jerick McKinnon. I think this guy puts up numbers in fantasy. I had to get him late last season because all my running backs was hurt. I ain't have a Josh Jacobs, I ain't have a Derrick Henry, but all my running backs was hurt. And when I got Jerick McKinnon, and he came in, I forgot what week it was. I think it was like week 8 of the NFL season when I got him. And he was just, he gave me about 12, 11 points. I take that for a running back for Jerick McKinnon. And I think he's very underrated when it comes to fantasy wise. I know as an athlete is a little bit different, but I feel as though, what the hell? Did I miss something? Oh, I don't know what is going on here, but I think Jerick McKinnon is definitely an underrated person here. They have wide receiver Sky Moore of the Kansas City Chiefs in round 11. Round 12, they got Davion Akane, the running back from the Miami Dolphins. They have Chisholm Okawino. I forgot how to pronounce his last name from the tight end. From the Tennessee Titans, the tight end. His name sounds weird as hell. I'm sorry, but Pierre Strong, another running back from the New England Patriots, and Darius Slayton in round 15 of the New York Giants. So there are some valuable players that you can look at that even might fall. Ridley is playing now. Yeah, it might fall. It might fall. It might fall to a later round, but there's some valuable players for y'all to go in and look at going into your fantasy football leagues. I know August is like the main month for fantasy football. But let's get into it. Ezekiel Elliott is being pursued by the Jets, Cowboys, and Patriots, and all 3 are highly interested. Now, Dallas Cowboys, they didn't close the door on Ezekiel Elliott just yet, but according to The Athletic, the Cowboys, New England Patriots, and the New York Jets are among teams that's interested in signing the 3-time Pro Bowler, which has been a free agent since his release in March. The Jets is interested in likely having their own pursuit of Dalvin Cook, who visited training camp last month, but Cook did not get a contract with the Jets after visiting with them. So they're looking for another running back leader in the clubhouse. Elliott visited the Patriots camp last weekend, didn't come out with a contract. New England is the first team to host Ezekiel Elliott since his release and is highly, quote unquote, highly interested in him. If one of these three teams go out and get Ezekiel Elliott, what would be the best fit for Ezekiel Elliott at this moment?
I'm sorry, dude. What were the three teams? I heard most of what you said. The first
Jets,
part.
Patriots, and Cowboys.
Patriots. Patriots got probably the best offensive line, and they need him. Like they actually have a need for him, and that would boost because I mean, yeah, you got Parker, you got Jimmy Smith-Schuster, you got somebody else.
What, Devontae Parker? I think, yeah, as a wide receiver.
And then you know,
and I think they still have Hunter Henry at tight end as well.
Yeah, so you put Ezekiel Elliott in there, and with that offensive line, he can average 3.5 to almost 5 yards a carry, essentially. And then again, you're putting him with a real coach in Belichick that's going to make him, you know, adhere to his system and the Patriot way. And I actually think that would be great for him. I think that's what Elliott would flourish in, because he would have that consistent structure. And it's always going to be basically the same fucking thing. And some guys, that's what they need. They need structure with their careers, and they just do. I mean, look at all the guys that have flourished under Belichick as the years have went on, especially running backs.
Yeah.
So
agreed 100%. And I wouldn't say the Cowboys, K-Hop, and I'm gonna tell you why. Number one, understand you want to get out of the contract of Ezekiel Elliott of what he had. I get that. Number two, I think that I don't want him to be under Dak. I don't want him being behind Dak. The fans are loving Tony Pollard over Ezekiel Elliott. That, to me, that was one of the other main reasons why he got released, the contract. And Tony Pollard is a fan favorite for the Dallas Cowboys. For me, I think is neck and neck between Jets and Patriots. They both in the same division. They both in the AFC East. He didn't get a visit to the Jets, but he did get a visit to the Patriots. I think it's more doable for him to go with Mac Jones and help him out protection-wise, run the football effectively. And I understand that the Cowboys, he should go back because that's where he was drafted to. But business is business at the end of the day. Business is business. And I don't think that toxicity that they have in Dallas, I don't want Zeke there.
Yeah, no, I was about to say the same thing. Like, hold on. Maybe that's exactly why he wouldn't want to go back, because that team cut him. They undervalued him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like for real. Like the simple fact is that they value Dak Prescott so fucking highly.
Yeah,
is astronomical to me. It doesn't make sense. The whole thing is like I would be trying to cut Dak's pay and pay some of them other guys a little fucking more. Now, I understand Ezekiel Elliott that didn't have the fucking best year last year, but you're not going to tell me if you put together a good system that revolves around all the playmakers on that team. Like, I'm going to say this. Imagine if Kyle Shanahan had this offense.
The offense would be different.
I mean, I'm just saying that in a sense that if Kyle Shanahan had this offense, it's a playoff caliber offense all motherfucking day long. But because the woes and the fucking dumbassery of the Cowboys, look what you got going on. Now you're stuck with Tony Pollard and who else?
They drafted the guy out of what is his name?
Remember what we said?
It's one of the coach's sons that got drafted as a running back.
Yeah,
he came from Kansas State, if I'm not mistaken. But he's a good back, but he's not Elliott.
Until you prove it in the NFL and you put up numbers in the NFL and you show production in the NFL, you are an unknown, and I'm not giving you that credit. Like, bro, I mean, seriously, like there's only a handful of running backs that I ever gave true credit to coming out of college. You know what I'm saying? And there's just not that many of them. Every year you might get one, or every other year you'll get one. Every once in a great while you'll get two in the same draft. But it's not very often. And that's what I like for me, it's just like yeah, some guys, some running backs are just built different, and you can tell. But shit, I
Right.
mean that goes for every position in a sense. The only problem is that the truth is the running back position has been completely undervalued, and that's because what? There's only a handful of really good running backs in the league. After that, after the list of the top round 10, it drops. It's a huge clip drop off
Yeah.
because it goes from 1,000 yards, well, 1,000 plus, 1,000 plus, 1,000 plus, 1,000 plus, 900, 800, 800, 600, 600, 600, 600, 500, 500, 500, 400, 400, and then So
Right.
the point is you've got what 50 some running backs that have decent production in the NFL, but only 10 of them are getting paid like it, if that.
If that. But he said that Dak is better. Zeke is better with the Cowboys 2 and 3, which is true. I get it. And then K Hop said it's reports that Cowboys that Dak is getting extension talks. I think they just get rid of Dak at the end of the season. Just my personal opinion. You get rid of Dak and you just blow the whole shit up at this point. I mean, you got rid of Zeke. I mean, Dak has been led the league in interceptions last season. It's time for you to it's time for you to put up or shut up this year for Dak. But at the end of the day, for me, I feel like the Jets and the Patriots are neck and neck, but I will lean more to the Patriots more than the Jets is, in my opinion. So hopefully Dak can get a job. Hopefully Kareem Hunt can get a job. I hope these running backs is sitting homeless right now. Okay, not really homeless, but if you get what I'm saying, they can get with a team, man. I'm telling you that a lot of these players, these undrafted, I mean not undrafted, but these free agents like Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott and Kareem Hunt, these guys need a home, man. They can bring value to so many 32 teams in the NFL. I don't think they asking to break the bank. They just want to play football at this point.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, I will say this at some point, like, and again, this is just me. If I'm one of them running backs, I got my agent calling every team,
Every team.
three 3.5 mil, 3.5 million 1 year contract. That's what I'm looking for. Or we can do a multiple year contract. Like I mean, you're gonna sit at home and not get paid, or you gonna go out there and you're gonna make some money. I'm sorry.
Facts.
If it's me, I'm gonna make some money. Now, don't get it twisted. Do I believe they have to push and they need to fight for more money for the running back position? Absolutely. But here's my thing. Okay, not every Tom, Dick, and Henry is gonna get a good contract. It's
Right.
just not gonna happen. But should the top guys get paid top dollar?
Absolutely. Especially if you produce on a
All I'm
consistent
saying is
basis. Absolutely.
when you're looking at skill players, okay, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, and then you have your fullbacks. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your playmaking guys. Okay. All four of these guys should be making similar money when you're talking about production. If you're talking about equal to production, then yeah. Yeah, I feel it. If you got a wide receiver that's getting 1,200 yards for 2 years consistent, and then turns around and signs a $20 million a year contract, right? Then you turn around, you got a running back that's averaged same amount of yards but rushing.
Right.
This guy turns around, he gets offered a $16 million contract. What the fuck? Like how is it not even kind of on the same level? You're talking millions off.
Yeah.
Not 1 million, not 2 million, but millions. That's what I'm not understanding. I mean, the simple fact is like, don't get me wrong. Like offensive linemen and defensive linemen fought for a while to get any type
To
of
get what they got. Yep.
yeah, no, like don't get it twisted. But the whole thing is, there's more offensive linemen in the NFL that are being underpaid than any position. And that's more my biased opinion, but still, there's a lot of guys that block for years without even sniffing a new contract. Like, what's your contract you came in on? How many offensive linemen do you hear about every year getting their contract restructured? Not many.
Not
Not
many.
many. If you didn't play up to the top 5 in your position, if you didn't get super notarized for what you did, man, ain't no pay bump. You're going to play out your contract, and then you can fight for a bigger contract next time. But no, and a lot of times the same thing for defensive linemen too. I'm not talking about edge rushers. I'm not talking about pass rushers. I'm just talking about pure defensive linemen, defensive tackles, defensive ends. Mm-hmm. Those guys too. Like for a long time, they couldn't get past the $10 million range.
Yeah.
And then I think one guy got 13 million, and then the next guy like 13.7 million, and then it slowly started to climb in the late 2000s.
And you see that it started to set a standard, like we're putting this production, we giving you these pressures, these sacks, these tackles, we being very effective on a consistent basis. It's time to start paying. That's why you saw that number go higher and higher and higher every single year.
Let me just put this to you, okay? Prime Ndamukong Suh was making around $13 million a year.
Yeah, I believe it.
You know what I mean? His first few years after his second contract, and then it just slowly built from there. But that's what I'm saying. In today's game, imagine having Ndamukong Suh for 3 years at like fucking $16 million. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That would be the steal of the NFL.
It definitely would be the steal of the NFL.
I mean, and I think this is what really overhyped Kirk Cousins, is because Washington kept franchise tagging him and tagging him. And it was just like his value built so high just because of that. Because now, well, he was making $36 million on the franchise tag. So when the team has to come sign him, they was going to pay him more. And what did they do? The Vikings came and paid him more.
Yep.
So
they had to pay him more what the franchise tag was offering.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. When you sit there and you spread all the money out and you look at all the money there is, it's I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous to say like you can 20 million to 30 million, like that right there should be your upper echelon players. I think some of the quarterback money has gotten so out of fucking hand, which is another reason why the running back position keeps getting looked down upon.
And one thing I can say, I could commend Aaron Rodgers for taking a pay cut that he took. That's what, because he was getting paid in Green Bay, and they reconstructed his contract in New York, and he took a major pay cut than what he was getting paid in Green Bay.
Okay, so but on that note, you realize, okay, and I like as soon as they signed that restructuring, they handed that man a check. Okay, with a lot of fucking zeros on it. All right, my man. No. He's not on the books for that money anymore. It's not going to be on the books. The owner took care of that. That's why
that's the signing bonus that he did.
Exactly.
That he got.
It's just like the signing bonus. Once you get that signing bonus don't count against the cap. Your salary is what counts against that cap.
True.
Now, if they have it structured in certain ways, it can be structured as the salary bonus can be added into your contract, so that's part of your salary because of different clauses you have in your contract. But you know what I mean? That's like a handful of guys on each team. That's not the majority of the contracts.
Okay, I get it.
So when
I'm still trying to learn the contract thing. I've been reading up on it, learning how the contracts work in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, so listen. I if you want to learn that, I would honestly, you start with one position at a time. You pick a position. You go through. You read the contracts. I mean, that's how I learned it. Like, because at first I thought, okay, I read all the quarterback contracts, so I got an understanding of it. And contract pops up. What was it? I'm trying to think who it was. It was Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas, left tackle. He got re-signed to the big contract with Cleveland, right? So I go in there thinking it's going to be structured similar. It's structured completely different.
Completely different, yeah.
And then so I was like, okay. So then I looked at a few others. Then I started digging into some of the Ravens one, and it was like I wound up looking at Corey Redding. He used to be a defensive right end.
Yeah, I remember him. Yep.
Yeah. So I started looking at his contract. His contract was full of clauses. Like he had to meet X, Y, and Z. His weight had to be this. He had to be able to do this physically. He had to be able to take X amount of reps in practice. Like he had to do all of these things to get his full salary. And that had nothing to do with a bonus. So that's what I'm saying. Like they can pick and choose how they want to tie up a contract.
Interesting. Very interesting, honestly. And I know Mac probably don't have any trivia today because I know he came right in, got something to drink, and sat down. So it's all good.
I was busy as hell, man. I'm doing epoxy training this weekend. So it's gonna be Friday and Saturday in the store doing epoxy training. And yeah, so I gotta set up the whole warehouse, grinding floors, dealing with customers. Like,
and I just want to I just want to throw out there. I don't know if on the last couple of episodes, I don't know if y'all mentioned when I mentioned my my guy O'Shea being killed, you know, at the Brooklyn gas station. On Friday, I didn't get a chance to announce it, but the guy did turn himself in, and he is being charged with the hate crime. So that is the good part about it. I am going to the funeral tomorrow, but he turned himself in on Friday when they was having the rally at the gas station, and they did have a few things over the weekend in New York. So, but he is having his funeral in his hometown of Philadelphia, and I will be going tomorrow. It's open to the public. So, I just wanted to throw that out there real quick. The fact that he's getting justice. But let's get into the next topic here. I want to go through this real quick when it comes to these under these free agent steals in training camp. Now, I know we had a conversation earlier about Miles Jack and Zach Cunningham signing to the Philadelphia Eagles. My opinion on this real quick is that I understand Miles Jack is 27, 26 years old, but he has not produced in this league enough for me to be like, okay, this is my starting linebacker. Yes, he played on the opposite side of Watt at linebacker, but Zach Cunningham is the better linebacker for that system than Miles Jack is. So I understand that they got Nakobe Dean. They drafted Nolan Smith. They lost TJ Edwards. They lost Kaiser White in free agency. But do you think the Eagles got to still signing both Miles Jack and Zach Cunningham before I get into my other list of steals of free agencies and training camp?
Bro, listen, I played against Miles Jack last year. He was with the fucking Steelers, okay? He did well last year, especially as the number two, which has me say this. Now he's going to the Eagles. Everything on that Eagles defense is fucking top notch. Let's be honest here. It might not be the top notch, but it's up there. You know what I'm saying? Every category from the Eagles defense to the Eagles offense is on the top 10.
Even though they both of their coordinators left for head coaching jobs, even though that's gone. So do you feel like
that could be a huge hiccup? It can be. It can
right.
be. I talked about that before. Coordinators do mean a lot. That's why I said I don't know if George is going to repeat because they don't have the same offense. So they can try to implement that same offense, but Todd Monken is fucking Todd Monken. Nobody else is Todd Monken. Now, somebody else can come in there and replicate kind of what he did using their own format, but nothing's going to be exact.
Right.
Shout out to Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh is literally the guy that like in his book, he literally teaches people this shit where it's like, listen, you can do the same thing. You can try your hardest, but it's never going to be the same. You're never going to be able to replicate the same play every single time.
Right.
Every single time. It's not going to have the same outcome. But what you can do is you can add variables to make it the same outcome. Now, what you do with those variables, which again, players in different positions, how you move them, how they swing, how they block, how they move, all that is up to you. So, and like you said, there's like 16 coaches in the NFL as far as offensive coordinators go that run a West Coast system. But you think more than two of them even have a kind of similar style? Not at all.
No, absolutely. You might see it as the same play on two different teams, but is the wording and the verbiage is different? Absolutely. Probably the looks as a quarterback might look different too, because even though it might look the same, but it's Definitely not the same.
So I'm gonna say this, right? You put Cunningham as the Mike, and you put Jack as the Sam in that defense, and you let them flip flop depending on what the play is. I mean, Miles Jack is a good coverage defender. He is, and then he also has that ability to sniff that ball out, and that's what I like about Miles Jack. Now, a lot of the times, is he tackling them past the line of scrimmage? Yes, but as far as like again, for his position and what he does, he can only play one position on that field. So he's not playing defensive linemen. So it's not his fault that they're getting past the line of scrimmage. Now, when he fucks up a tackle, that's 100% his fault, and that's why he didn't go in the first wave at free agency. If he was a 100% sure tackler and played like he did last year and wrapped up and got every single one of those tackles and didn't let nobody slip, he 100% goes in the first wave of free agency, completely underrated. Cunningham, on the other hand, is surprisingly underrated. He's been surprisingly underrated almost everywhere he's gone. Yeah. I think the Buffalo Bills was the only team that he ever really got some pop for, but even still, bro, I'm gonna let these two go out there and run fucking rampant, especially with these young guys. It's gonna be awesome.
Actually, now you're adding Nolan Smith from Georgia, then Nakobe Dean's coming off an injury, so it's going to be a good linebacking core, especially. It's been a lack of depth in that linebacker core for a couple years for the Eagles.
Well, now you got it.
But I just didn't understand how you didn't bring back Kaiser White. Kaiser White was so good for them last season, even though you got him on a 1 year. But he was a monster in him and TJ Edwards was all right, but I think Kaiser White was the better linebacker in my opinion, just from watching the game. And Kaiser White was just a big factor. But I mean, I understand you got Hassan Riddick that's coming off a big year as well. So, I mean, it should work out really good. It should work out really good. But what I was trying to say in the group chat is that you just never know. It's going to be some shockers of a lot of players that we love. You could be like, damn, he got cut. Because the way the training camp set up, it's 3 games now. So that gap between that 95 and 90 players going to 53 is going to be tough.
Listen,
it's going to be tough.
I'm happy JJ Watt retired and didn't go play with the Steelers. Okay,
exactly. It was a smart move.
Shit interview. I heard that interview yesterday. I was sitting there flipping through Facebook, and I heard that shit. He was like, "Yeah, I was going to join the Steelers so I could play with TJ for 1 year." I'm like, I'm motherfucking happy you didn't, motherfucker.
Oh, as a Ravens fan, you'll be pissed. As a Raiders fan, I'll be pissed too, because we played the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. So absolutely not. I'm happy, just as happy as you, bro. What's going on, Anthony Estrada? What's going on? What's up with y'all? Thank y'all for coming on in the chat. I really do appreciate it. So outside of Zach Cunningham and Miles Jack, being still in the training camp, there's some 6 other players that I want to mention real quick that already look like they're going to be 2023 NFL free agent stills in training camp. Wide receiver Braxton Berrios from the Miami Dolphins. I thought he's a good slot receiver. I watched a little bit of him last year. It's not that bad. I think DJ Shark for the Carolina Panthers is going to be a steal for them. Even though DJ Moore is gone, DJ Shark is definitely 100% back. So I do like that. Of course, they're going to throw Marcus Peters of the Las Vegas Raiders up here. Now, what I've heard in training camp with Marcus Peters is that he's been playing very well, getting a lot of picks, helping these younger corners get better. And the defense is getting mad turnovers from the back end of this defense, which we don't get turnovers on the back end of our defense when it comes to safeties and corners. So Marcus Peters is another one. Irv Smith, the tight end from the Cincinnati Bengals, should be a steal. Drew Tranquill. I think Drew Tranquill is definitely a steal for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think he was on the Los Angeles Chargers, if I'm not mistaken. He was a Chargers guy. And Deontay Foreman of the Chicago Bears. I think this is the biggest steal, in my opinion, on this list, because you're getting rid of a David Montgomery that stayed in the division, if I'm not mistaken. And Deontay Foreman could do the same thing that David Montgomery could do for the Chicago Bears team. But more healthier is Deontay Foreman than David Montgomery was. But In my opinion, I think these are a few steals that you definitely need to watch out for, which is Braxton Berrios, the wide receiver from the Miami Dolphins, DJ Shark, the wide receiver of the Carolina Panthers. Then you have Marcus Peters, the corner of the Las Vegas Raiders. You have the tight end Irv Smith Jr. of the Cincinnati Bengals, and you have Drew Tranquil, the linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs, and the running back Deontay Foreman of the Chicago Bears. So they are the 6 players who already look like they could be free agent steals in this training camp. How do you feel about any of those names on that list? That could be steals going into training camp.
I mean, any one of them honestly could, but I mean,
well, like what? Okay, so what's one person that sticks out to you that on that list that could be probably the ultimate steal?
None.
I think DJ Shark could be a steal. I think for me, I think that's the one that stands out.
Bruh. I'm sorry. To me, he ain't shown me shit for real. Like, I mean, production is 3 years. 3 years. I want to see 3 years where you get almost or at least around 10 touchdowns and around 1,000 yards. Like that's where you start to get to the top echelon. That ain't even a top echelon. There's guys that's been getting 1,200. Like, and I understand, like, wide receivers, like, yeah, you got to put up the yardage. You got to get them touchdowns. Like, you've got to be a playmaker to be a, like,
in my he's only a second year. I mean, I agree, but I think he could be one of those steals that could definitely come in and help out Bryce Young for the Carolina Panthers. I think he could come in and help. But as far as DJ Shark stands out to me, and Drew Tranquil, I think Drew Tranquil was very underrated linebacker for the Chargers last season that nobody really talked about. And now he's in Kansas City. That helps out his linebacker core.
I have no clue.
You don't know who Drew Tranquil? See. Let me.
I'm saying. Like, to me, I'm like, you want me to pick a name? Like, I mean,
the man had 146 combined tackles with 51 assists, 5 sacks, 1 interception for 20 yards.
Okay.
And I think that's.
I mean, I don't watch a lot of Charger games. You know what I mean? Like, it just.
As far as my division, I'm used to it. I'm used to seeing him there.
Yeah, so. No, I mean, see, but that makes sense. You know, like for me, I'm just like I said, nothing.
But Anthony Price, they're not free agents though. They all signed. That's the thing, Anthony Price. They all signed. DJ Shark signed with the Panthers. Braxton Berrios start with the Miami Dolphins. Marcus Peters, the Raiders. Irv Smith, tight end from the Cincinnati, signed with the Cincinnati Bengals. Drew Tranquil signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. And Deontay Foreman signed with the Chicago Bears, formerly of the Houston Texans. So Deontay Foreman, only reason why I say Deontay Foreman could do the same thing as David Montgomery was for the Bears, but a more healthier Deontay Foreman than you had with David Montgomery. That's the only problem with David Montgomery is that he can't stay healthy. So it's a few of them on here, but it's not nothing that I say, will they be extravagant? No, they're not gonna be extravagant, but I think they could be some okay still. I think the production for DJ Shark is at an all-time high at this point because he's been around since 2018. It's time for you to it's that time this year that you have to do something to help Bryce Young. So David Bird said, I pray things get great for Bryce Young. Oh man. Foreman is a third down back, but he is. But for me, he could be a starting running back in this league. For me, I think he can. But
for Atlanta,
no. For he's not. No, not Devontae Freeman. Deontay Foreman is a different back. He's got drafted with the Houston Texans a couple years back, and now he's with the Chicago Bears. So let's get into some NBA though. Let's get into some NBA. I know y'all heard about Anthony Davis' contract, ladies and gentlemen. I know y'all did. So I'm gonna just give y'all the breakdown, not true breakdown, but The Lakers forward Anthony Davis agreed to a 3-year, $186 million maximum contract extension, tying him to the franchise through 2028 for a total of $270 million. Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul told ESPN on Friday. Now, Anthony Davis' deal is the richest annual contract extension in NBA history, averages $62 million a season. Davis, who had 2 years, $84 million left on his contract, became eligible to sign a 3-year extension on Friday. And Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka and Paul moved quickly to complete the deal. What are your thoughts on Anthony Davis getting that money? Is he worth it or is he not worth it? And how high is his expectations since he got this contract?
Nothing's gonna change.
It's so stern with Mac. It don't make no sense.
I mean, it does make sense. Like, didn't he already have a contract for next year?
No, he didn't. He had 2 years left on his contract.
That's okay. 2 years left.
Yeah, he had 2 years left, and they gave him another. So he's gonna be there till 2028, basically.
It don't make no sense. Why are you re-signing people? Why don't make? You got years left on the contract. Says that motherfucker next year, motherfucker chops his arm off. Gets you know what I mean? Hit by a car, never fucking play again. Like, and you already guaranteed the motherfucker the money.
$62 million a year.
Stupid.
So do you think his bar is set even higher now that he has this contract, that he has to play as better than he did last year or even the year before that?
Look, he ain't even eclipsed my bar I had for him.
And what was the bar you had for him?
I'm expecting it like him. I was expecting by like year 5, he was going to be averaging 28 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks a game. That's what.
Yeah, he didn't even eclipse that though. Yeah,
I want to see him do that for a whole season. That's not even surpassing Shaq's numbers. Like, I'm not asking you to beat Shaq's greatest. I'm not even asking you to be 30 points. It's the 28 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks. That's it.
I think he can do that though, but with like I said, he's a piece of glass though.
There's no excuse. There's no fucking excuse with the team that the Lakers have had. Why can't he be number 1? LeBron is not supposed to be number 1. Let's be honest here. The man is almost 40 goddamn years old. Like, he's second fiddle at best. He should be third string. He should be the smallest of the big 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, you build a big 3, he's your smallest guy. He's your smallest guy. He's the Chris Bosh now. Now he's Chris Bosh. Okay? And that's my thinking on it. It's just like it doesn't make any sense. Yes, Anthony Davis has got to play better. He's got to play more consistent, and he's got to try to keep the injuries down. Of course. We've been saying this for a fucking decade now.
We've been saying this for a decade. You're right.
It's a little fucking repetitive. So, yeah, okay, he got money. Absolutely. Let's see if they have fucking buyer's remorse. What's up, Boog?
So I'm gonna just go through the comments because they're coming in for AD. They said they should have let him play it out in a sense. Here's why: because if he stays injury prone, it doesn't take the keys to the LA Kingdom, and then it's going to be harder piece to move. And K-Hop says that in the playoffs he was a different breed last year on defense. He say he's in the car. David Burns says if Anthony Davis can play 65 of the 82 plus the playoffs at a high level, is totally worth it. He's up there with Jokic and Embiid when he's right. LA signing him this early was a bit odd, and I think AD put in a pickle because the Lakers are a little bit with him than it is without him. Then it said the Lakers are a little bit better. Okay, you just did that over. Chris is OD, Matt. Chris Bosh is OD'd. meaning that he probably disagree with you that he might be the next Chris Bosh. I think that he's disagreeing with you. I'm not too sure, but
hold on. I didn't say anybody was Chris Bosh. I was saying LeBron is Chris Bosh's role now. If you were building like if you're thinking of LA, like if they were getting a big three, LeBron needs to be that second to third fiddle. He should be third fiddle, but I know he's not going to be.
let me just be completely honest in my stint on Anthony Davis. I don't think he should have got the money right now. It's a lot more that he has to prove in his league. Yes, you're an NBA champion. I get it. You are. But can you stay? Can you play more than this? Can you play more than 60 to 65 games? One. I mean, I just feel like his injuries is the reason why I don't think he deserves this contract. His injuries. And I just say at the end of the day, Anthony Davis is just made of glass, bro. He's just made of glass. That's like giving Greg Oden this type of money with all the injuries that Greg Oden got. I'm not comparing him as a player. I'm not comparing him as talent. I'm just saying as far as injuries go, it's like giving Greg Oden this type of contract. So for me, I don't think this contract needed to be done right now, but the fact that y'all made him the highest annual player in the league, the richest at $62 million a year, that's a bit too much for me.
I mean, come on now. You knew it was going to happen real soon. Like with Brown getting that pay, you knew somebody was going to have to eclipse him real quick because the motherfucker like, look, man, you're not going to tell me I ain't worth more than Brown.
No, he's not, but Brown is the highest paid, but the highest annual is Anthony Davis.
Yeah, makes sense. But at the same time, like, yeah, I mean, again, do I think he's overpaid? Yes. Yes, that is absolutely overpaid for Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I think it's overpaid. I think
I can see 38, maybe even 45 million. But once you go over 45 million, bro, I mean, in my lifetime of watching people, there's only a handful of motherfuckers I'd be like, yep, I pay for it. I would want my team to pay over 45 million for that motherfucker. Like, and to be honest with you, like I'll just tell you five off the bat: Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, I'll definitely pay that.
Like you know what I'm saying? And there's only a few more handfuls left. You know what I mean? We're talking about 15, at most 20 guys that I'm going to say it doesn't matter when they played in the NBA, them motherfuckers, I'd 100% pay them over 45 million. But you got a bunch of guys where I'll be like, 20 million is the most I'm paying you. I would never pay that guy over 20 million because of look at the longevity of the career. How many times was he injured? How many times did he miss the playoffs? How did he play when he finally did get to the playoffs? That has a lot to do with it.
It just I seen that Anthony Price that the Lions signed Teddy Bridgewater, but I mean that's gonna be just for quarterback competition.
Ooh.
They signed Teddy Bridgewater.
Mm.
That's pretty interesting. That's interesting. Man. Now you know, but that's going to help out Hitting Hooker too. So Hitting Hooker it gives. If you look at Hitting Hooker at Tennessee, you see his style in Teddy Bridgewater Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh yeah.
Listen, I kind of okay. So I understand the move. I get
it. Jared Goff's seat just got fucking hot, baby.
That's a hot take right here, y'all.
That is sizzling. Jared Goff. I know. I said it when they drafted Hitting Hooker. I was like, ooh. He gonna get now he fucked. He fucked because if he don't go out there and dominate shit, they gonna put in Bridgewater and then Hooker. And it's over. It's over. It's over. And that's why I'm like don't get twisted. If Hooker gets to sit this year, okay, and start next year, I'm just telling you, the first couple weeks, everybody gonna sleep on him and he gonna burn their ass up.
And you know what though? And we just talked about the value at wide receiver on a few topics. Amon St. Brown was on that list from the Detroit Lions. You get him with a Teddy Bridgewater now? I can't.
Well, hold
Like I
on.
said, we both. I
I'm not
think me and
giving
you
it to
both picked
Bridgewater.
them to win the NFC North, if I'm not mistaken.
I listen. I'm not giving the starting job to. It's Jared Goff's job to lose.
Right.
Who's Baker Mayfield losing his spot to?
From what I'm hearing, is back and forth between him and Kyle Trask. He got drafted from University of Florida. What was like 2 or 3 years ago? He backed up Tom Brady a couple of years ago, but Teddy comes in and steal jobs. Yes, I think he could come in and steal that job in Detroit. But Baker Mayfield has been off and on in training camp. But so is Kyle Trask. So both of them has been off and on. So that quarterback competition is probably the highest right now out of the whole NFL.
But I'm just saying this. Like, as a football player, you just getting into the thick of it, right? 3 weeks from now, you talking about a team could be completely different. Completely motherfucking different. It takes 2-3 good days, and all of a sudden you got that confidence, that sweat. Like I said, it's the preseason. It's the preseason.
Right.
I'm not talking about games. I'm talking about practice. Practice is what counts. Because if you kick ass in practice, you kick ass in preseason.
Yeah.
You ass on Sundays.
Facts. Everyone thinks the Lions is going to easily win that division. I disagree. I'm not saying they easily going to win the division, but
no.
they definitely have a chance to win that division.
Listen. I'm going to tell you this, right? I think the lowest team in that division wins 7 or 8 games, and then it's going to be 8, and then the top dog will probably have 10.
Because I mean, even though Minnesota has a great offense, I get it. They won the division last year. I get it, but they was dead last in every defensive stat category in the league. They gave up about 24 points a game on defense.
No, Anthony, that is not your hot take. That was my hot take. As soon as Aaron Rodgers signed that contract, that was my hot take that the Jets were winning that motherfucking division. That's my hot take, sir. You ain't doing hot takes on my hot take.
The Jets win the division over the Bills is not a hot take. It is a hot take. Because when the last time the Jets won the division? Let's keep it real. It is a hot take. Only 2 teams that have been winning the AFC East is Buffalo and New England. The Jets have not won a division since when? And I mean,
the butt fumble.
I mean, probably since the butt fumble. I mean, how long ago was that?
Sanchez and Rex Ryan.
He said Madden curse. Yo, I forgot he's on the front of the cover of Madden, Josh Allen. I totally forgot about that. You can't trust Josh Allen anymore. You can't. Well, all this stuff going on between him and making sure him and Stephon Diggs is on the same page. There's a lot of drama in Buffalo on a low. A lot of drama. But Anthony Davis, you ain't getting that, bro. You ain't getting that. But before I get into this, I want to go through this real quick. And Mac, you ready to be pissed off?
No, because I'm preempted. I already know what you're gonna say. So I already know who's gonna be there in a sense. Like I know the guys that are gonna be left. It's gonna be picked from a handful of teams. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna do 30 to 21 real quick, and then we're gonna do 20 to 11. So number 30, Derwin James, safety from the Chargers. Oh, just to let y'all know, this is the top 100 players of 2023. The players voted. We don't think the players voted. We think it's BS.
Bullshit.
We think it's BS. But this is not our list. This is according to NFL Network and the players voted. So 30, Derwin James, safety from the Chargers. Number 29, Nick Chubb. I can't wait to talk about that. At the Cleveland Browns. Dexter Lawrence, defensive line for the New York Giants. TJ Watt is at 27 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jair Alexander, corner of the Green Bay Packers. Derrick Henry, number 25 from the Tennessee Titans. Roquan Smith, linebacker from the Ravens, is 24. Sauce Gardner is at 23 on his list. A.J. Brown is 22 for the Philadelphia Eagles, and Austin Eckler is 21 on this list. Just to repeat, Derwin James, Nick Chubb, Dexter. Okay, I'm doing it wrong.
Austin
30.
Eckler couldn't be better than Nick Chubb on his best motherfucking day.
Yeah, I'm not
I don't
understanding
give
that.
a fuck, man. And bro,
It's ridiculous. Oh my God, this is terrible.
and TJ Watt shouldn't be out of the top 20.
Not at no 27. 27? That is disrespectful.
He had like a torn rotator cuff for half the fucking season and still amassed over 10 sacks in that after he got fucking injured. So what the fuck, Alvin?
All right, so let's go to 20 to 11. So Myles Garrett is number 20. George Kittle is 19. Minka Fitzpatrick is 18. Max Crosby is 17. Stephon Diggs is 16. Fred Warner is 15. Trent Williams, the lineman from the 49ers, is 14. Devontae Adams, 13. Josh Jacobs, 12. And Aaron Donald is 11.
It's a popularity contest, plain and simple.
I'm confused though. I'm confused on how do you put TJ Watt at 27 and put Myles Garrett at 20? I am confused. TJ Watt is better than Myles Garrett. I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry to say.
To me, they're pretty much on the same level, so that doesn't make a difference. To me, it's just like it's the spit in the face. Like again, I'm gonna get some hate for it, but I don't care. Sauce Gardner played one motherfucking year in the goddamn league, and you're telling me he's better than Marlon fucking Humphrey. He's better than fucking Ramsey. He's better
than Patrick Surtain at this point. K-Hop16, Derrick Henry is 25 on this list. He's not top 10. Derrick Henry's number 25 on this list.
Yep.
And I feel like Christian McCaffrey should have probably been at 25. Christian McCaffrey should be higher than Henry. But I understand why, even Josh Jacobs, and I don't like to be biased, but Josh Jacobs led the league in rushing. And he's not even in the top 10. And he led the league in rushing last season. I'm confused. Devontae Adams, he was third in receiving.
And if you're
receiving yards and led the league in receiving touchdowns.
He's
number 12.
The right tackle, Sewell from fucking Detroit. Where the fuck's he at?
I mean, I could look through the list real quick and see if we even mentioned them.
I don't think we did. I know we didn't mention Rodney Stanley, and I know his ass be overrated.
Oh no, we didn't mention him. Yeah. So let me go through it real quick. So Swool is not in the 90 to 100 to 91, so he's not there. And then you have 81 Swool. Let me see if he's there. No. Aiden Hutchinson should have been higher than where he was at. So he's not on that second part of the list. 80 to 71. Nope. I don't think Swool is on this list so far. And if he does not make this list, he's a hell of an offensive lineman for the Detroit Lions. I just don't get that. Nope. No, he actually is not on this list already. He's not on this list so far.
I guarantee he's probably not even on the list.
Thank you. Eckler at 21 over Chubb. Just throw the whole list away.
Oh yeah, immediately. That's the true thing.
Just throw the whole list away.
Like what the fuck? What dick sucking fucking contest is this bullshit? Because that's what this shit seems like. Like who did the most fucking ball gargling in this motherfucker? Because I mean, honestly, if this ain't a popularity contest, I don't know what the fuck it is. This ain't no top fucking 100 list.
This is one of the worst 100 lists I ever seen since they made the existence of it.
It don't make
the worst.
It don't make no damn sense.
The worst. I'm tired of seeing this, man. I'm tired of seeing this list, and I just want this list to be over. Just get us to the top 10 and it just be over with, so we don't have to keep doing this topic every time we do the show. Just get it done and over with. So that is your list from 30 to 21 and 20 to 11. Just to let y'all know. So with that being said, I don't know as much college football, but I don't know if you heard how the landscape is starting to be realigned with a lot of things.
No, I admitted on the show, I don't watch college until after, like, when it's bowl season. When it gets to the playoffs, that's when I watch some of it. And then,
but it's the only reason why I want to talk about it real quick is this, because it's been a lot going on in college football in itself. Now we have I don't know if you know about the Pac-12 conference, but it used to be Oregon, USC, UCLA, and those guys. Now the landscape is definitely changing, and it's changing to a point where now you have the University of Washington, you have UCLA, you have USC, and you have another team going to the Big Ten. So right now you'll have Illinois, Iowa, Indiana, Maryland, Michigan State, Minnesota, Nebraska, Northwestern, Ohio State. Then you have Oregon, Penn State, Purdue, Rutgers, UCLA, Washington, and Wisconsin, all in one conference. So you're bringing those West Coast teams to the East Coast. How the hell is it going to work? Because now, if you look at it, it's only 4 teams left in the Pac-12. That's Stanford, is Washington State, Arizona, and Arizona State. 4 teams left in the, and mind you, this is going to change in 2024's next season. And that's just one thing. We have University of Colorado. They're going to the Big 12. So the Big 12 is going to have Arizona and Arizona State are going to the Big 12. Crazy. So now you might have 2 teams left in the Pac-12. So Arizona, Arizona State, Baylor, BYU, Cincinnati, Colorado, Houston, Iowa State, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, TCU, Texas Tech, UCF, Utah, and West Virginia. A lot of these teams are going to big name conferences. And for me, I think it's just messing up the game of college football. Because now you got all these teams going to the SEC. You got Texas leaving the Big 12 to go to the SEC. Then you got Oklahoma going to the SEC. So the landscape is really tough for me, because as a college football fan, they feel like they're trying to make 2 power conferences, and that's the Big 10 and the SEC. Understanding that you see those 4 teams in the college football playoff majority of the year is the Big 10 in the SEC. I get it. But the Big 12, it's not really about the Big 12. The Big 12 is still going to be fine. I just feel sorry for the Pac-12. All those West Coast teams is going to an East Coast conference. It's going to be very interesting to watch. So, as the Tennessee fan, it kind of doesn't concern me, because my team is in the SEC. And, of course, we play those teams like the Auburns, the Alabamas, and the Ole Miss. Those teams every year. But the landscape of the Pac-12, and I don't know if you know much about the Pac-12, but now they only got like probably 2 to 4 teams left in that conference. Is it time to shut down the Pac-12? Or can the Pac-12 find teams to come to the Pac-12?
I mean, I'm sure they're going to have to expand it. It wouldn't make sense to keep it that way. Like, they have to expand. Everybody else is expanding. They're going to expand.
Only reason why I don't think it will expand, because Washington said they were looking for stability in a conference.
Did you see the comment?
Which one?
The Richard Sherman
is joining Undisputed with Skip Bayless. They ain't gonna last long. It ain't gonna last long.
Why are they trying to push Skip Bayless on people?
Because he's been in this industry for so long. That's why.
I mean,
I used to be a Skip Bayless fan, and I lost. I'm not a Skip Bayless fan anymore. I used to be one.
I mean, bro, for me, I'm just saying, like, back, and we can say back in the day now. What was that, like 2003 when he called that game, and he said some, I guess you could take it as racial comments when he was describing the athletes.
I mean, this is not the first. It's not the first time we heard Skip Bayless hear some racial slurs. This is not the first time. So
I mean, I'm just saying, why do they continue to do this to be like, bro? I'm not even going to tune in, not once.
I don't think nobody really tunes into Undisputed anyway. I mean, it's on.
No, I did. I was watching Shannon Sharp. I love Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, you tuned in for Shannon Sharp. You didn't tune in for Skip Bayless. If it wasn't Shannon Sharp on there, nobody would have tuned into Undisputed.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I don't love Richard Sherman enough to say, oh yeah, I wanna listen to you talk. No, I don't. I got no ties, got no cares. So what you just did was you just put on another. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Shannon Sharp wasn't. I mean, I thought it said Sherman for a second. When I read it said Shannon, I was like, oh no, I was gonna say the wrong thing. Like, yeah, I'm not taking anything away from Richard Sherman. Like him and the Legion of Boom at that time, yeah, they had a couple fire ass years, but like you said, he didn't play for my Ravens. He didn't give me a reason to really cheer for him.
I am going to pull that up real quick because I do want to talk about that because that was hilarious. I don't know if you saw on Bleacher Report where they had a picture of Carson Wentz in his practice outfit where they had I cannot wait to show you this. I'm gonna share the screen real quick because this is freaking hilarious, bro. When I tell you this guy he has on an Eagles helmet with a Commander's practice jersey and coach shorts. And I heard that Carson Wentz tried out for the XFL and he didn't get in the XFL either, from what I've heard. But this is, I thought this was pretty hilarious, bro. I don't know if this really was true that he had this on, but what's your thoughts on this?
This has got to be it's got to be Photoshop. It's got to be Photoshop. Like it's just it has like let's be honest here, okay? The helmet alone, he's not taking an Eagles helmet. Not taking the Eagles helmet. Eagles are like, man, that's not leaving the facility. That's ours. That's our property. Okay. The Redskins jersey, absolutely. The Colts shorts, for sure. But that helmet is what tells me this shit was Photoshopped.
It looks good though for it to be Photoshopped. Like if you look at it really clearly, it looks really good. It looks like it's with the Philadelphia Eagles. And they just added the practice jersey in the shorts.
Okay. This is what I'm going to tell you. You see his hand that looks like he's about to give you a high five. Can you zoom in on that at all?
I think I can. Let me see.
Because you look at the bottom half of the t-shirt, and then you look at the arms of the t-shirt, and they look like a different color. And that's just from a little bit of zoom I can do on my camera.
Yeah, for some reason I can't. Let me see how. Yeah, I can't go any further than this. On my Zoom, but I thought this was pretty. I thought this was pretty hilarious, though. I thought this was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm going with show Photoshop. Like this has got to be Photoshop. Like this is a lawsuit, okay? This is a fucking lawsuit.
Yo, I thought it was so hilarious when I saw the picture. I didn't want to bring it up as a topic. I really didn't, but Carson Wentz, man, we know that you're probably done in the NFL. But I wouldn't be surprised if somebody do bring you in. Probably not this year, but next year I would not be surprised. And they will say it was a rumor that he tried out for the XFL, but I disagree with that. I don't think he did. But hey, it is what it is.
I mean, look, they let Paxton Lynch play in the XFL, didn't they?
And yeah, Paxton Lynch actually played in the USFL and the XFL and got cut from both. I mean, and shout out to the kid that's over on Sports Empire Network. Just a quick story, real quick, and I think she jinxed it. And I'm gonna be completely honest. Me and her used to work at Lids. If you don't know what Lids is, it's a hat store in the mall that do all the embroidery, that have all the dope hats. If you go to Lids, we both used to work in there, and we always worked on, testing out hats and doing embroideries and stuff like that. She got her a Broncos Super Bowl 50 hat, and they had Paxton Lynch's signature on it, and she embroidered the signature on the hat and brought the hat. I'm saying, bro, I'm like, yo, why would you buy? Ever since you bought that hat and got his signature embroidered on there, he has not been the same since. Like, oh, this is the time in New Jersey. Anthony Price just sent another picture saying that it's real. That's him throwing the football right there. That guy, but the thing about this, it got to be a replica hat. It got to be a replica, some type of replica, Eagles helmet that you can buy.
What camp was that for? Like, bro, I'm just,
yeah, who he was working out for,
bro? Because that don't make sense, man. There's no NFL team is gonna let you wear another NFL team gear. Like it's not gonna happen.
I mean, you could buy an actual helmet online.
Oh. No, let's keep it 100, okay? So if you pay to have a custom helmet built for you, you want an exact one, and you want two of them, and the NFL is gonna give you one. So you're gonna take your own money, you're gonna buy that same exact fucking helmet. Absolutely, you can do that. All right, but what I'm saying is, how fucking stupid would that be at another facility wearing a different team's helmet?
I don't think that was another facility. From what I looked like, it looked like it was like a high school football field. It don't even look like a stadium. It's just like a regular high school football field that he probably was working out on. It's a whole article on it that Anthony Price just sent it to me.
Oh my God.
It's a whole article on it. Yeah, he was he gonna
get a call from the reps on those teams and say, can you please return all of our property?
Oh, this is, they said we're joking. Carson was a big part of the 2017 Super Bowl run, despite what ungrateful haters like Bob Winkle and Kyle Pagan says. Hashtag thank you, Carson. So I don't know if this is real or not, but I don't think it's real. I mean, I don't read every article anyway, because some articles just be telling some late stuff anyway. But did you watch SummerSlam this weekend?
Oh no.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Mac.
I was
gone
when you guys started.
The last 5 or 6 years for SummerSlam, this has been the best one. I'm not going to get into all the matches, but that bloodline storyline just got better because Jimmy turned on Jey Uso. So the Usos are officially broken up after 13 years of being in WWE as a tag team. That's why Roman Reigns is still the champion, because Jimmy turned on Jey. Jey was this close of taking the title off of Roman Reigns, and Jimmy turned on Jey. So for me, when I told James of No Mercy Sports, I said, you're going to get Jimmy versus Jey at the next pay-per-view event, and that's going to be at Payback. Brock Lesnar did lose fair and square to Cody Rhodes. One thing I can say about this, Mac.
Did he though?
Yes, fair and square. No cheating, no nothing. He beat Brock fair and square. And that's why I have to respect Brock, because you never see Brock do this. You never see him pay respect to somebody else after a loss. Especially with Brock, he'll be pissed off. He'll start throwing shit around, especially in WWE. And I'm not saying in UFC, but in WWE, he'll be pissed off that he lost. But he finally gave his respect to Cody Rhodes, shook his hand, put his hand up, da 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 da. I'm like, okay, Brock, you gave him his respect. So they did fight 3 times, and this was the last match, and Cody won 2 out of the 3. So, I mean, Cody won fair and square.
Cody Rhodes is an amazing wrestler. I know this. I've known this since the mid 2000s, the late 2000s. The first time he was with WWE, and they didn't give him no fucking respect. Just like Jeff Hardy, it's just like certain guys. If you know wrestling, and I was a pretty good judge of it, being able to watch as much as I did. Like, you know, I had the old tapes. I had the shit from the 80s, Andre the Giant tapes. Wait,
man. WWE did good by Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy just fucked it up. That's the difference.
No.
They fucked it up for Jeff. They gave the difference. Wait. I'm gonna tell you why. Because they
gave him the first time they gave him the championship belt. They gave it so they could switch it to somebody else. He was only a placeholder. The second time
he was not a placeholder, bro. That guy was on. Jeff Hardy was on drugs. He had to get stripped of the title because he was on drugs. He'd been to rehab so many times. WWE gave him so many chances, and he screwed it. That's why he's not even in AEW right now, because he's back in rehab again. Well, but the fact that they gave him a title shot and have him win the title over Cody Rhodes, to me, is asinine.
Hold on. And this is the same company that let Jinder Mahal run amok on SmackDown for years.
Thank you. I agree.
Listen to me. As soon as I seen Jinder Mahal was a champion, I stopped even checking in for like 2 years. Bro, for like 2 years, I stopped checking in. There was nothing for me there. And then same thing, like, how do you have Braun Strowman continuously lose for the fucking belt? That guy's a goddamn monster. You should be fucking praying and hoping to God he's gonna come out and sling that shit for your title. And then the fact that you still like never gave him the complete push. Why he should have had a 3-year fucking title run.
He should have had the Roman Reigns title run, for real. The Roman Reigns title run is for 3 years. He should have had the Roman Reigns title run, for real. I agree 100% on Braun Strowman. I agree 100%. But the best moment for me, it was the triple threat match between Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka. So the way Bianca Belair won the title back, she already had a knee injury going into the match, and she hit her knee on the steel steps, and they tried to walk her back, but she came back, and I forgot what move that she had her in, but she ended up pinning Charlotte. After she completely won that match, here goes Io Sky. That's a part of Damage Control that got moved up from NXT. She won Money in the Bank last month. She cashed it in on Bianca Belair and won the title from Bianca. So now let's see what's going to happen on SmackDown, because Asuka's the champ. Asuka's the former champion, so she gets an automatic clause. Bianca's going to feel like she's going to need a clause because she beat it from Asuka. What is Charlotte going to do? And will this be a fatal 4-way for the women's title? I think you should do it. Why not? I think you should do it. I mean, because Charlotte puts on great matches. I mean, she's a 14-time women's champion. I mean, the girl could do everything. Oh my God, who said this? You see, y'all doing stuff to piss Mac off, man. I'm not trying to do this to piss Mac off.
Listen to me. That sounds like some little kid shit. Motherfucker that don't know shit about shit. But
overall, it was a great event. Finn Balor and Seth Rollins definitely could have stole the show.
Remember the SmackDown that I watched when I was up in PA like 2 months ago?
Yeah.
The two little ones, they wore them blue outfits, the girl tag team. They got bumped up from NXT.
I haven't seen them around, but this is what Vince McMahon does, man, when it comes to talent. Now, my problem with this is that if you have a women's tag team division and you brought them up, Why you don't put them in the women's tag team division? You know why? Because Vince McMahon is still thinking that Raw is the flagship show. It's not the flagship show anymore. Nobody watches Raw for 3 hours anymore. People prefer to watch SmackDown than to watch Raw. That's a fact.
I will say this, right? So of the people that I know that watch wrestling, they watch they watch Raw on Hulu on Tuesday. And listen to me, and I think that might be the main reason why that Raw gets a big push is because it's on Hulu. SmackDown's on Hulu too, but what does that mean? It comes on Hulu Saturday. What is most people doing? They're doing something on Friday and Saturday nights. That's why, and I'm just telling you, just from a person who listens to people, that's the main reason why the people that I know, they don't really watch SmackDown very often. They like the pay-per-views. They like some of the like the Samoan Triangle thing they keep running.
That's the one storyline right now that's giving WWE ratings, and that's on SmackDown. Now, with Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, with Finn Balor having Judgment Day and all of that, I think that's a good storyline, but is it bigger than the Bloodline storyline now? Absolutely not. People gravitate to SmackDown because of that storyline.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the thing that becomes tricky is the time slot.
Yeah, but that's
Thursday night SmackDown was the shit.
It was.
In prime, I want to see you show me the numbers today and tell me that it was better today, more numbers today than it was on Thursday night.
No, I wouldn't say that. No, it's not.
I'm going to tell you, I'm like 99% sure it's going to rival, if not beat, the numbers. And I'm just talking about like the last 6 to 8 months.
Man, when it comes to Attitude Era, it's a little different. Raw was the flagship show during Attitude Era. Absolutely, that was the flagship show. But the one thing I can say what they did with SmackDown is that new talent that came over, they made a name for themselves. And then when you mixed it in with vets, like when Kurt Angle went to SmackDown, when Stone Cold went to SmackDown, when The Rock went to SmackDown, they even the feel.
Like, bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's always been times where SmackDown has had a better storyline. They've had other shit going on. But the thing is, Monday Night SmackDown will always be Monday Night SmackDown. What are you doing Monday night? I'm watching, you know what I mean? Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw, you mean? I'm like,
I'm sitting here. I'm reading the comments and I'm saying what I'm reading.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, okay. So Monday Night Raw has always been a staple because even now with the streaming shit, if you don't watch it Monday, you're gonna watch it Tuesday. Now, like I said, if they move SmackDown to say Thursday nights again, I bet you they double viewership. They double their viewership.
Let me see the ratings right now for Raw and SmackDown.
Because I think I'm not gonna lie, when they moved it to Fridays, I think it's mainly because it was just.
I think it was the television network they was on that made it move it to Friday.
No, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like there's a little bit of everything on why the time slot moved, but the whole thing is it's just like it's been some years now. Let's move that shit back to Thursday night because dude, I'd watch SmackDown if it was on Thursday night. I would definitely because I don't really have shit to watch on Thursday nights. So that would be something I would definitely tune into, but I'm not going to spend my Friday night watching SmackDown. You know what I mean? Like I got I guess other decisions to make.
Okay, so I could say going into from July 31st to August 5th. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go a little bit further back, July 24th to July 29th, because August 5th is still July 31st to the 5th is still not updated yet. But according to July 24th to the 29th, Raw ratings, they had surprisingly 1.8 million people watching. And on SmackDown had 2.3 million watching. And that's the week of July 24th to the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's very believable. Right now is 1.7 million for Raw. For Raw as of right now, going in from 7 They didn't update it yet for August. I mean, not August, July 31st to the 5th. They haven't updated it yet, but I'm gonna come back to it. But as of right now, when it comes to the 24th or the 29th, SmackDown has won when it comes to the ratings, and I think because of that Roman Reigns thing. But I think Raw is trying to do the same thing with Logan Paul. I'm not gonna lie, Logan Paul Ricochet match was definitely off the chains, high flying. I'm surprised there wasn't no stipulation with it, but it was just pure wrestling. It gave me high flying. It gave me counter after counter. But both shows is doing good ratings, but I'm not watching Raw for 3 hours. I'm just not. If they put Raw back to 9 to 11, like back in the day it was, I'll watch it. I'm not watching it from 8 to 11. I'm not. That's too much. That's too much wrestling. I mean, I just sat through a 5-hour pay-per-view in SummerSlam.
I mean,
and you think on Monday I'm gonna watch a 3-hour show? You're bugging.
Hey, listen to me. If I was the matchmaker, I bet you I could get your ass to sit in that seat for 3 hours.
Listen, if you can find great matches for 3 hours,
for
Raw, I will watch it for 3 hours.
Hold on. Hear me out. What is that? AEW?
Yeah, AEW is 2 hours on Wednesdays.
No. But that's probably the reason. One of the main reasons why Raw ain't got the push and kick that it does, because a lot of your guys are gone.
Yeah, but a lot of those guys in AEW, they're not all former WWE wrestlers though.
I feel like I'm saying though, if it wasn't another big competition out there or semi-big competition out there, I'd like to see a few of them young talents be promoted to the big stage.
Agreed.
Like, come on, like the one guy, I can't remember his name. He's got the beard. Motherfucker can talk. He's not a real big guy, but he can fucking talk.
You talking about Seth Rollins?
No, AEW.
I
don't know his name. He kind of looks like Seth Rollins with short hair and a beard.
Is it? I think it's MJF you talk about. He's the AEW champion. It might be MJF.
It might be.
MJF can talk on a goddamn microphone.
I don't know.
That's one thing I can say.
The videos didn't have his name on it. It just had a bunch of his promos chopped up and mixed together.
Just send it to me. It probably is MJF. It probably is him.
That shit was probably weeks ago. I ain't gonna find that damn video.
I mean, if it's on YouTube, just go to your history. It should come up.
Oh, I didn't watch it on YouTube. Watch it on Facebook. Real.
Oh yeah. You're not gonna find it after you scroll up one time. You know how Facebook good. You watch it one time and you scroll up, it's over. You ain't getting back to it.
Oh yeah.
You ain't getting back to it
again.
But I give it a 4 out of 5 stars for SummerSlam, and I've been very critical of SummerSlam in the last 5 years. But they finally put a great card together in Ford Field, and it wasn't one thing it missed. No returns came back. It was rumored that Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton was going to come back, but they didn't come back. So hopefully they'll come back at another big pay-per-view, which the next big pay-per-view is Survivor Series, if I'm not mistaken. They ain't till November. But you'll see everything else in between till then.
What's
going on, Caleb?
What's up with that giant guy? I thought he was going to get a push.
What, Omos?
I guess. I don't know.
Garbage. He lost in the Battle Royal. LA Knight won the Battle Royal at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Omos is under MVP as a manager, and MVP is terrible as a manager. So booking for Omos is terrible in WWE. It's terrible. It's terrible.
I mean, the whole thing is, though, they got to give him a push, though.
It's been times when they try to give him a push.
Don't get it twisted. But if you can't do it in the ring, you know what I mean?
That's the thing. He don't have enough moves in the ring to be. He's not as athletic as Braun Strowman. You get what I'm saying? Braun Strowman's more athletic. You could put him in a match with anybody.
And I'm not gonna lie, like, bro, there's big guys out there. I know. Like, motherfucker, if I had ties to WWE, I would be hitting construction sites. Where are them big motherfuckers at? Bro, I work construction. I'm a big motherfucking guy. I'm 6'6", 350 fucking pounds. Right. I'll be walking around job sites, and I'm not always the biggest guy around. You know what I mean? Sure. And I'm like, shit, you ain't gonna tell me some of these motherfuckers, they be great goddamn wrestlers. Shit. Like, if I didn't smoke cigarettes, I probably could be a decent wrestler. Like, shit.
Listen, if I was in shape, I'd probably be a little small ass wrestler. Who knows?
To me, I put it this way, like, okay, in the Paul fight, okay, who was he fighting again?
Ricochet.
Okay, that's that little. It's the bald dude, right?
Yeah,
the bald dude with the pants. I remember watching the one show. It was like Ricochet, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, no. So, how good did Ricochet look?
Ricochet looked amazing, actually. I thought I picked Logan Paul to win the match, but Ricochet held his own against Logan Paul. He held his own.
And he lost.
He lost because of Logan Paul cheating. Somebody gave him brass knuckles and punched him in the face with the brass knuckles, which was illegal.
Okay. I mean, 90% of matches, yeah, that's illegal.
Yeah.
But no. So, and my whole thing is with wrestling, as knowing as much as I do as far as being a stagehand and seeing the backgrounds and seeing them set up and seeing, like, being there for the whole production. All right. The person that wins does the least amount of work, to be honest, especially when it comes to, like, moves, as far as picking somebody up, moving somebody, slamming somebody, doing any kind of type of aerial, anything. Like, if the other guy doesn't stay still, if the other guy doesn't let you move their weight, if they want to play dead, if they want to be stiff, you know what I mean? Like, that's going to be a shitty fucking match. That's going to be a shitty fucking night.
It was a good match because they both, like, even though Logan Paul is taller than Ricochet, a little bit bigger than Ricochet, but Logan Paul in a WWE ring is a great high flyer. Like, he goes off the top rope, he goes off the ropes, he give you frog splashes and 450 splashes, and Ricochet, both of them was doing damn near the same thing off the top rope. It was a very high paced match. And I give Logan Paul his respect, but you should have won fair and square. You ain't have to bring the brass knuckles in. Come on, you ain't have to bring. I guess
that's part of the storyline, but
yeah.
I mean, for me, like I said, I mean, I don't know. I'm so indifferent about that. Like, it's just like, for me, for somebody to come straight in from, like, social media and now doing something that it took years of backbreaking work and doing crazy shit.
And that was the storyline.
Like,
that was the storyline because Logan Paul was on WrestleMania. He'd been around since WrestleMania.
So he should against somebody like LA Knight then.
Now he don't want no smoke with LA Knight. He don't want no smoke with LA Knight.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no, or fucking.
But Ricochet called him out on it though. Ricochet called him out on it. That's how the match happened.
Or like the youngest Samoan that just came out, big boy with the blonde hair.
Solo.
Yeah, put his
Solo. That's part of the bloodline.
Like, I want to see like put him up against a big.
But it's gonna be hard
to this fucking little guy.
This is why I hate WWE in some sense, because now you have Solo on SmackDown and you got Logan Paul on Raw, and they can't clash. That's why I hate the brand split up. I hate it sometimes.
See, this is what I don't want. I don't want them trying to push Paul against Rhodes.
Absolutely not. No, I don't want Logan Paul against Cody Rhodes. Absolutely not.
To me, if you're giving him wins on pay-per-views, that means you're trying to push him. That's how the business goes. That's how the business goes.
If they push Logan Paul to a title match, I before Cody Rhodes, if I'm Cody Rhodes, I'll be like, I went out again. I'll go back.
No. They're gonna put the strap. They're gonna put the strap on Cody Rhodes, and then they're gonna build Logan up. They're gonna have some beef, some scuffle, and then all of a sudden it's gonna be them versus each other.
I hope that's not the case, man.
See, I mean,
Seth Rollins is having a great run as the champion on Raw. He's having a great run.
Who?
Seth Rollins.
Oh,
he's having a hell of a run.
I mean, bro, it's that been there, done that, got that T-shirt. Okay. Like, I mean,
I like his new character. I think his new character is really hilarious.
It's the only thing I don't like about wrestling. When you got guys that are sitting in the back that you know for shit. If this motherfucker came out there and started slinging his ass and slamming him around and hitting all their motherfucking power moves on it, like Seth Rollins, yes, he's a good fucking wrestler. He's dynamite. But it's the same way I felt about what's his name? Yes, Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan.
Like, come the fuck on, bro. If Kane, even Kane at that point, when Daniel Bryan started that push, if Kane came out there and said, you know what, chokeslam, boom, powerbomb, boom, flip him over, boom, drop him on his fucking head. What are you gonna do, bro? What are you gonna do with him? Like, let's be honest. If that big man don't let you do something, you ain't gonna do shit. And now, not every big man is like that. You look back in the day, Viscera. Viscera was a shit wrestler. Like, homie, I remember Rey Mysterio, for him being stiff. Rey Mysterio kicked the fuck out of him at a house show because he was being stiff, bro. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Some big guys are just fucking ass. Absolutely. But then there's some big guys that these motherfuckers like, bro, how are they not a fucking champion? There's no way I'm going to be like, and that's why they gave it to Brock. But that's also why I hated it, because you had Braun Strowman, you did have Roman Reigns. Like, that belt could have swapped every couple of weeks at pay-per-views.
Or every couple of months.
The drama, the dramatics, everybody always fighting for the top. Like, and you had the superstars there to do it.
That's what made me mad about Roman Reigns not losing the title at SummerSlam, because now what's next for Roman Reigns? In the 3 years, he's beaten all the top guys. He's beating all the top guys. So him winning the title, it doesn't benefit the company at all, because you even put him up against John Cena and he beat John Cena. You put him up against Lesnar, he beat Lesnar. You put him up against Cody Rhodes, he beat Cody Rhodes. He beaten everybody. So for him to lose the title, win the title at SummerSlam and retain it, it was dumb. It was a dumb move.
I mean, like I said, they could be building it up for somebody else to take it, but
I hope so, because
if you are unsure of who your next champion should be, then you don't need a next champion yet. I'm being honest with you.
I think the right time was if he just should have. Cody should have beat Roman at WrestleMania.
Right,
that's what it should have been. But it is what it is, though. We could talk about this all day long when it comes to it.
Right.
But
my dinner's ready. I'm hungry. Peace, love, and happiness, everybody. Until the next show, keep it real.
All right, so that's the boy Mac, the co-host of the Darion Hopkins Sports Show. There you have it, guys. The show is officially done here. Episode 63 is actually officially done. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of the Darion Hopkins Sports Show. We will see y'all Wednesday, same time, same place, right here. And make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure y'all go to SeatGeek. Use everything that we have. All the links are in the description here. And thank y'all so much for another episode of the Darion Hopkins Show. Thank y'all so much and have a good night. Peace.